Hey everybody, welcome to the final part on our compass reading skills. What I've done is I've put a little paper clip and a little weight down on my W key, and I've headed off at a sprint looking at the ground, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going. I went off to cook some bacon and eggs. I was watching from the kitchen casually, and you're going to see something coming up which kind of interrupted it. Not the water itself, but I saw out of the corner of my eye this boat. And on this server there's not too many vehicles, either hackers have got them or they're just not really around. So I interrupted it, set out across the water, and you're going to see when I get up the bank a little, I'm going to turn myself in some circles, looking at the ground. There we go, so you're going to see when my gun comes up, I'm turning, not sure where I'm going. Then, yeah. I've set off in another direction with the W key weighted down. I've left the computer, haven't been looking at it, and I just go straight. Don't have to worry about trees really, or anything too big. I mean, I kind of had a general vague idea of where I'm going. There wasn't going to be any cliffs that I'd just be walking into for 20 minutes or so, but yeah, so here we go. Just enjoying the fast forward. And here we go. I've returned, I've come down, I've put myself in a position. Now here we go. So now we come back to our first 4 points, but we'll just put them in 2 groups. What I want to do is find my location and align north. Now to do this, when you have no idea where you are, find a vantage point so you can see things more easily. And what we're looking for is, of course, topography. And the third most important point is to find something obvious. On the map it's just a cluster of contours and forest. So what we want to do is find something that stands out in amongst all of this similarity. And I've been going for a little while, it's quite hard to do, so just be patient and you'll get something. And now I found this. It's a rectangular shaped patch of empty or sparse forest. So what I want to do is find this on the map. And look, there it is. But that's not enough to give us a specific bearing to go to somewhere else. What we want to do is use our compass to point due south, or point it at a specific point on the rectangle, and then we can draw a line north because I'm looking south, and that will tell me where I am. So I'm just going to fiddle around with this and point it at a specific point. I'm going to point it to where the patch meets the second densely forested area. So I go slightly to the west, and I'm going to bring up my map eventually, and then I'm going to draw a line. And I raise it up, and where the black of the compass just touched the green, that's approximately where I'm standing. So what I'm going to do now is just have a look at the other features and see if I can get within a few meters where I am on the map right now. I can see this big hill with a unique shape, like a camel almost. It has a big hump and then a small hump. So what I want to do is look for the contours on the map. So we're going to have really tight contours leading up to a peak. They're going to ease out a little, and then they're going to build up again to make that second hump. So look at that. Contours coming to a point, easing up, and then bulking up again. That could be the camel shape. The contours certainly suggest that pattern. So right now I'm just having a little bit of an explore around the area. I actually head to the east just to have a little bit of a look for some fun, see if I want to go anywhere else that looks interesting. But then I decide, well, that camel-shaped hill's got my curiosity. So then we come to points 3 and 4, which is now just point 2. What we want to do is set our bearing and then follow it. Now we can do this by another way, which is just navigating by topography. I'm doing a combination of the two, using my compass to get to the mountain, but also just using my eyes, looking at the map and understanding how the topography works. So I'm going to get to the top, and then I'm going to stop when I think I've reached the top of that camel peak. Let's see how we go. Now I've come to the top of what I actually thought and believed to be the Camel Hill, even though that shape up ahead looks like the Camel Hill. From a further distance away, the gap between the two knolls looked a little steeper, so I actually think I'm standing right where that waypoint is. But then I have a look at the map, and the topography doesn't match. If I'm standing on that point, there should be a steep hill going straight down, but there isn't. Instead, there's another hill right in front of me, and then there's this slope down here. So I'm going to go back to steps 1 and 2. Steps 1 and 2 being, of course, find your location, and then align north. Now I'm having this problem because there's two similarly shaped camel hills, but there's one very distinguishing feature. Between these two double knolls is this bridge, with steep contours to the south and north. So now I've found exactly where I am. We can see that bridge leads to a steep hill. Now that I know where I am, I'm going to look for something specific. This tree. I'm going to mark it on the map, which is finding my location and aligning north. And now I'm going to take a bearing and follow it. And where I'm travelling to is a road at the northeast airfield that has a house at the end of it. Now this is quite a dense forest, and it comes out at a very tight little specific point. So let's see how we go. I'm going to run through the forest and use a few of the different principles. I'm going to take away my compass and mark a tree. I'm going to run it a few circles and remember the bearing and try to get back on track. So not going to make it too easy. Though it won't look very spectacular in fast forward, it's very disorientating. So let's see how we go. Taking the compass away a few times, marking locations, running around, getting off the trail and getting back on it again. And plus, I'm in this dense forest, so there's no real indication of where I'm going. It's very thick, so I just have to trust that I've done the bearing correctly. Tension, tension. And look, there, we've arrived at the end of the road with the house in the northeast airfield. Well, I hope these videos taught you a lot about navigation, and I hope you enjoyed them as well. So until the next video, cheers!